Hello, I'm EG and this is Crocheting with EG. And in this video I made another hat cover, and I'll show that. It turned out really nice. And then I did get some yarn from Hobby Lobby. And I don't know the sequence of my videos, but in one of my last videos I was in my niece's playroom and I gave you a glimpse of all of my yarn hauls and stuff and how I have them piled on her bed. And I was gonna do a video where I sorted all the yarn into these bags, so that when I go through the really long process of reorganizing my yarn room and making room for the hauls and stuff, and making my little knick-knack shelf and like decorating with all the puzzles and all, when I go through that process, I wanted to have all of the yarn hauls that I've gotten over the past few months all organized, so that I knew exactly how many of one kind of yarn I had, so that I knew that I'm going to need room for this many solids, and I need room for this many of this kind of yarn and all that. And so I actually did sort my yarn, and you may know that already. I don't know if I'm going to do edit that all together and make it its own video, but it's a lot of footage. It's like 3 hours of footage, and so I don't know, because I don't have to worry about it for a while. But if you already know that and you already saw the whole process, then I already made it a video in the future. But if I didn't, then I could put clips in this video. I don't know. I really don't know what I'm going to do with all that footage, because it's a lot of footage. But and it was over 2 days too, and I was sorting it all into the bags and stuff, and you really got to see how much yarn I have. But anyway, so that was a whole process, and but anyway, so in spite of all of that yarn, like I said in the really long intro that became its own video, I'm going to continue to go to Hobby Lobby and look for the clearance yarn and stuff until the big markdown, and because it's April as I'm filming this, and so my store usually clearances it in around June, and so I thought I'm already this far into the whole clearance yarn hunt saga, I might as well finish it out and end it on a big note with hopefully catching the big markdown, the big yarn clearance. And so I thought, I'll just keep on the schedule like I've been doing, going into my Hobby Lobby almost every day and look for the clearance yarn and stuff. And then once I get the big markdown, that'll be like the perfect stopping point. Because at this point, I probably do have enough yarn, but it's still enjoyable to look for the yarn and stuff. It's not like I've said. I feel like I've said this like 3 or 4 times, because I've said it in the big intro where my big ass was on the bed in there or whatever, and then I said it a couple times in the 2-day period where I was sorting the yarn. But I still enjoy finding yarn and buying yarn and stuff. Like, that's not what is bothering me. It's not really like a problem. But what's kind of bothering me is like the fun of the yarn hunt or whatever, and finding the clearance yarn and stuff. It feels like it's like hoarding my time, the time that I wish I could spend on other things. Because I do have OCD, and like I enjoy buying the yarn so much and stuff, that and like all this crochet and all that. And part of it is also I'm trying to keep my channel focused on the crochet and stuff, even though I do go off on all kinds of other things. And like I said, I'm going to be my videos are going to become more variegated and almost like a vlog in the future. But I guess I do have OCD, and so because I enjoy the yarn and stuff so much, it's like I've been so focused on getting the clearance yarn and stuff that I've sort of had so much fun with that I've kind of neglected all of my other interests and stuff, and I want to find the balance, and I'm slowly trying to find the balance or whatever, and so that's why I feel like there needs to be like a perfect ending to the whole clearance yarn hunt saga kind of thing that I keep calling it in my head, because I want there to be I want there to be fun with the yarn and all that kind of stuff. And of course, I will still find yarn in the future or whatever. I'll come across it randomly. But it's the, like, seeking it out every single day that I need to, stop, because I want that time back to do some other things. So I'll still find yarn and stuff and still enjoy it. And I'll be crocheting in every one of my videos and going through my yarn and organizing it in here. And it's still going to be a yarn and crochet channel. But I want there to be other things, and not just in my life, but also in my videos and stuff. Because I want some of the other interests too. So it's just sort of like me trying to train my brain to, make time for all of my other interests too. Like, still enjoy all this, still enjoy the hunt for the yarn, and I'm doing this because there's a yarn right here and here. There's a little bit from Michael's too. I want to, enjoy buying the yarn like I do, and all the crochet and stuff and all that. But I also want to like intentionally make time for all of my other interests that for so long I've sort of pushed off to the side or whatever. And also I feel like if I start to incorporate some of my other interests in my video, along with the crochet and the yarn, it's always going to be a crochet and yarn channel or whatever, but it's going to be even more than that. If I start to incorporate that into the videos, then it's not going to feel like oh, I want to do this with my collectibles, or I want to do this with my writing, or I want to design something, or I want to do that, but oh, I can't right now because I need to film a video. It's not going to be like that. It's going to be like, well, if I want to do all that kind of other stuff, and it doesn't have anything to do with crochet, then and I need to film a video or a couple of videos for the week, then I can just say, well, I can still do that, but I'll just take the camera with me when I do that, and make it part of the videos, and where it'll be more of like a vlog kind of thing. And I feel like I've said this like 3 or 4 times, and you probably already watched those videos and you already know this by now. But anyway, so I wanted to sort out all that yarn, and I already did that process, and I don't know if you've seen it yet, but I'll put little clips in of this, or if I don't, then it's going to be its own video in the future, or like whatever. But like I said, I didn't want to stop the whole yarn hunt saga or whatever, because it is still fun, especially when I find it randomly. And so and when I went into Hobby Lobby, it was 2 days before the shipment day, and I knew that like some days or sometimes there were like, it was 2 days before the shipment day, and they would have some yarn in the remnants, but not every single time. And so but I did want to just like pop in, and because I didn't want to change my schedule completely. I don't want to just act like, oh, I'm never going to look for yarn again, because like, yeah, right, I can't go through all this and have all this fun and stuff and then just think, well, I have enough, obviously, because of all that yarn in there, so I'm just going to stop. It's still fun. You know, it's not like all the yarn that I have, like, that's not the problem. It's just like, you know, the hunt for it and stuff is just taking up so much time. And as fun as it has been, this whole thing, I could write a freaking book with all the stories I have, like going into Hobby Lobby and stuff, and looking for this yarn or whatever, and all the ridiculous stories that I've told in all these videos. I could write a whole memoir about that, you know, crazy experience. But I didn't want to, you know, completely stop or whatever. And so I thought, you know, I'll play this out, this whole like saga or whatever, until the big markdown, and then from that point on, I'll pop in like every once in a while, but you know, for the most part, maybe like once a week, I don't know, like on the shipment day. But even that, like if I'll go in there after the big markdown, and it's on a shipment day and they don't have any yarn, it's almost like, at this point, it's almost gonna be like, oh good, which is weird to say, but it's gonna feel like, oh good, then it's over with or whatever, and I get to like enjoy all the yarn and all that kind of stuff, and I'm not gonna wonder like, there might be some nice yarn over there, because it probably won't be. I can't see them clearance yarn every single week, you know, until the end of time. I feel like all of this, for my store at least, was like this build up to the big markdown or something, months of build up. But that's what it sort of felt like, it was leading to somewhere. And but if not, if they keep clearance yarn or whatever, I could literally go in there every single week, you know, for the rest of my life, and like fill my house up like an episode of Hoarders. But I don't want to do that. I want to fill up my life with all of my interests and stuff, and that's going to start being reflected in my videos and stuff. I want to fill my house with the yarn, but I want to fill my house and my life and my creative life with all of my interests too. And so I need to like make room for all of the other interests too. And so as much as I love the yarn, it's already feeling like it's kind of winding down in my head, which is a really good thing. And I'm starting to make time for my other interests already, just realizing that I want there to be an end point to the whole clearance yarn hunt saga a couple weeks ago. And so I'll talk a little bit about that. But anyway, so let me get to the I'll get to the make first. So I have my hat. You know, I have this oversized hat, you know, to cover up my bald spot. You know, but I made a hat cover. It's basically just like a double crochet circle, and then you do the increases, and then when you get down to the point where you're right here, then it's just like a crocheted cap, like one of those pattern things. And so when you get down to here, you stop increasing, and then you just do rows of double crochets until you get down to however long you want it to be. Like if you just want it to be a cap, you just stop here, or if you want it to be like long enough where you can fold it up, then you make it longer and all that. So I made a cover for my hat, and I made it in black because I love black, and I do love that. But I wanted to make another one, and the thing was, I didn't keep track when I made the black one. This is how my hat looks, you know, I'm covering up my bald spot. But when I made my black one, I didn't keep track of which row I stopped increasing at, and so I made this one, and it turns out it's just like one increase row too many, but it turned out really nice. Luckily it fits over my hat, because like the black one, I can wear it without my hat. It actually looks good without the hat, and it fits me properly. This one is just because I increased increased one row too many. It fits perfectly on my hat, but I can't wear this as just a cap or whatever. Not that I'm going to. I feel like it looks better with my like on my hat as like a hat cover. But this is the one I use. This is the I forget the color name. It's from Walmart, the Mainstays brand. You know, that variegated. They have a couple variegated skeins, but this is the one that has blues and blacks or whatever in it. And they turn out really nice. And so this is the cap, and so I just put my hat on or whatever, and then I just put my little cap on it. Like I said, I'm gonna make all kinds of these hat covers or whatever because they're turning out so nice or whatever. And it is fun to kind of accessorize my cane and like accessorize my hat or whatever. It's just kind of weird, but I think it looks really nice, and I love this colorway. They need more colorways or they need more yarn, period, in Walmart. But this is a really nice colorway, and I do have a lot of those because I think they were some of the ones where I'd walked in there and they were clearancing them, and it was to replace them with ones that were higher priced. But I got some of these thinking that they were going to get rid of these, but so I do have some extras of these, so it's a really nice colorway. And what I need to do is, because I have all these cane covers and stuff, what I need to do is make some cane covers that match my not that I want to be too matchy, whatever. It's weird that I'm like thinking about that, like, you know, in some kind of fashion sense. I made my hat cover, and then I need to make a cane cover to match, like, or whatever. It's stupid, but I feel like I want to make a cane cover that matches this. Of course, then I would really stand out when I go out if like my hat, you know, matched my cane cover and stuff. And I don't know. And if I made cuffs that match, like, I don't want to look like some you know, weirdo with all this stuff on. I am a weirdo. Who cares? But anyway, so here's the hat cover where I think it turned out so nice. So these are just like double crochets and stuff. And so like when I put it on my head, because I did that, you know, one extra increase row, I mean, it fits, but it feels like a little floppy or whatever. It feels like, you know, a bucket hat that just wasn't finished. I mean, because it's a little floppy, especially down at the bottom. But what it is to fit my head is 15 rows. And then what I did with this one is I increased on the 7th row, and then on the 8th one I stopped increasing. But what I need to do is make it sit, because like with the black one, I was trying to go by the black one, but I used chunky yarn with the black one. So that was why I was a little bit different using this, because it's just regular medium 4-weight yarn. And so what I need to do is do the 6 rows, and then at the 7th row stop increasing. So then the 7th one would be the first one where it's just double crochets instead of doing the 7th row as increases or whatever. So that's what I'm going to do if I make any more of these, or when I make more of these. I mean, I do love this. This is ridiculous, but anyway. So that's the make, and I'll show the yarn from Hobby Lobby. And what was funny is I went in there not expecting to find yarn, but that's the story of my life at this point. But I walked in there, and it was a couple of days before the shipment day. And what was funny is there was this cart sitting in front of the remnants, and I saw the yarn or whatever, but there was this cart. It didn't have any yarn in it, but it just had like a bunch of random clearance stuff, and it was just like sitting in front of the remnants. And the story I made up in my head, because I'm a ridiculously creative person or whatever, the story I made up in my head is they were going to put this stuff on the remnants, but there wasn't room because of the yarn. And so instead of like pushing it into the back or like pushing it up by the cutting table, they thought, well, we'll just leave it here, because it's not like this yarn is going to sit here very long, because he's going to be in here in a couple of minutes, and he's going to, you know, clear the shelf for us, you know, get all the yarn or whatever. And then we'll have plenty of room for all this stuff there. So we'll just leave the cart here, because he'll be in here in a couple minutes. All made up in my head, but you know what I'm saying. But anyway, so they had 12 skeins. And the really amazing thing was 6 of them were the Yarn Bee True Colors. I mean, like when I was sorting my yarn, I was saying that, like, I was hoping that, you know, I would come across more of the Yarn Bee True Colors. It's the yarn that I used to make my mom's blanket for Mother's Day. And I used my EG stitch, and it turned out so nice in this yarn. It was so nice working with this yarn. And I said that, not that I want any of that yarn to go away, but when I was sorting my yarn, I was thinking, like, I wish that they would clearance out some of those in the big markdown. Not that I want to get rid of them, but because I wanted to get more of them. And because it's such nice yarn, I had to use a lot of it to make my mom's blanket. Of course, it was worth it, but it doesn't stretch as far as I wanted to. But it was so nice working with that yarn, and I made that scarf, and it's a really nice yarn. And so I was hoping that they would have some in the big markdown. But then to walk in there, like, I was in the middle of like organizing my yarn and stuff, and like even saying that, and then I go to Hobby Lobby, and then I look in the remnants, and then there's 6 of these. I just couldn't believe it. So this one is the Yarn Bee True Colors, and the colorway of this one is called Fall Frost. It's kind of like a tannish gray color, and if you look at it really closely, there's a little bit of a like an orange mixed in it too. Like it's really subtle though, and I don't even know if you can pick it up on this camera. But it does look like a little bit like a very light strand of fall colors in it. It's just really subtle. But for the most part, it's more of like a silvery tan color. So I got one of those, and then this one is the blue teal, which is gorgeous. I love this blue teal color. This is really nice. And then they have one of these gold ones, which I used in my mom's throw blanket. Yeah, just called gold. It's like a gold color. And then they had two red, which I don't think I have any of the red. Yarn Bee True Colors and the color red. So it's this gorgeous red color. I love this yarn so much. It's just weird. It's weird how I love this kind of yarn, but because I've been so obsessed with like the medium 4-weight yarns and stuff. But just working with this was so incredible. But this is a variegated skein. This is called Frost Flurry. It's this nice mix of these blue shades. I love this. I hope that they start making all kinds of variegated skeins like this, because this is really gorgeous. And so they had 6 of the true colors. I just couldn't believe it. And then they had a chunky. I love it. Like I've said, or no, I said it in the video, or you might have already said. God, I hate that I'm like sort of like so far ahead in filming, and I don't know. Sometimes I'll like mix up the timeline or whatever, and I don't know what videos I'm gonna be putting out or whatever. And because like as I'm filming this is April, and I know that this is gonna come out in like maybe 2 months or whatever, and so like I don't know like how far ahead in the future I am, and whether I decided you know, between now and then if that video was posted, or like, you know, I do that sometimes. But in the sorting process, I was saying that they don't clearance out there I love this chunky that often, like, or at least more than like some of the other ones. Like they clearance out this Soft Secret a lot. This is really nice yarn though, but I love this chunky. They don't clearance out as often, but this is really nice. It's a nice red color called Red Velvet. Really a deep, nice red color. And so there's that one, and then they had some of the Soft Secrets. And oh, I didn't even say the price. All these were regular $4.99. Got them for $1.24, I think. Let me check the prices. Yeah, all the true colors were $4.99. Got them for $1.24 each. And I love this chunky. That's the same thing, $1.24. And then these Soft Secrets. These are the ones I really do need to check the prices of, because they do. I've seen them in all kinds of different prices. So this one was regular $5.99, regular $5.99. Okay, all these were regular $5.99. Got them for $1.49. So they had 3 Yarn Bee Soft Secret. This is the color Buffed Blush. It's kind of like a tannish, goldish, pinkish color. It has a hint of a pink in it, kind of like that. Like if you mix gold or like a metally kind of gold color with some rose pink, and kind of like that. It's real subtle, but I don't know if you can. It looks kind of tan on the camera, but it has a little bit hint of a pink in it too. So that was $1.49. And then this one's called Mushroom. You know that gold. I do have some of this mushroom, kind of a gold color. I don't know why they call this mushroom, because it's not really the color of mushrooms to me. It's more of like a lighter gold color, and then a color white. And so there's one of those, and then they had one of these. God, Yarn Bee Soft and Sleek, and this gorgeous color. It has to be like teal blue or something, or peacock, or yeah, teal blue. That's what it is. It's like this teal blue color. It's the one of this isn't called peacock, because the shades of blue that are really gorgeous that I love are called peacock sometimes too. But it's a teal blue, like a darker teal blue. It's really gorgeous. Regular $4.99. Got it for $1.24. And then they had one of these mandala skeins, and this is the color Jingle. So this really pretty mix of pinks and oranges, and all of the mandala string skeins. It kind of reminds you of like metally colors. They're all kind of like coppery shades, goldish kind of shade. They look like the shininess. They kind of look like metal in a way. I mean, they're obviously not, but you know what I'm saying. Like the color is kind of like even this shade right here. It kind of looks like copper. And in the other yarn, it would be like a brown, but like because of like the way the yarn is, it almost looks like copper in a way. But that's what I kind of get, like the vibe of all of these string yarns. It kind of reminds me of like a metally mix. But this one's called Jingle. I don't really know why it's called Jingle, because when I hear Jingle, I think of like Christmas and all that kind of stuff. But I mean, Jingle can be other things. But for me, when I hear Jingle, I think of Christmas. But it's a really gorgeous mix of colors. And like I said, I'm probably going to waste the potential of this yarn and use it for either something ridiculous, or mix it with other yarns, or do that triple up method, because I just can't see myself using like this really thin yarn. I know it's really thin. I think it's a 1-weight. Yeah, super fine one. But it says you have to to use a 4mm crochet hook, so it's not like you have to use one of those teeny tiny ones or anything. But I don't know. I just can't see myself using this as the weight, you know, as it is. I just feel like I'm probably going to mix it with other yarns or something. But this is gorgeous. These skeins get kind of messed up though, and so I need to be real careful with these so that they don't get really messed up. This was regular $6.49 and got it for $1.62, so that was a really good price for that. I'm sure this is some luxury kind of yarn, but I'm just going to use it probably the way that I would feel more comfortable using it, and like mixing with other yarns and stuff. But if you use this yarn just by itself or whatever, I'm sure it makes really gorgeous, delicate, dainty things or whatever. But I just can't see myself doing that. But it just feels like the perfect kind of yarn, like the way the colors change. It feels like the perfect kind of yarn to use as a mix-in yarn, kind of like that that sparkly the strand that I got at Hobby Lobby that I can mix into yarns and add a little bit of a metallic strand in, like that. Except you know, you can use this and make a like a regular color, like something like this, like a white, mix it together and make like a really pretty colorway, or like take one of these shades, like maybe a brown, like a darker shade of like brown or orange or pink or something, and mix this in there and just add a little extra color to something like just a plain color, because I am getting a lot of solid colors in all these yarn hauls that I'm getting, and I know I have a lot of solids because I've already sorted my yarn. So this would be the perfect kind of yarn for that. So that was the last skein from Hobby Lobby. I just could not believe I got more of those true colors. I just love this yarn. Like I said, there's so many Yarn Bee yarns that need to be under there. I love this yarn, but I know that the Yarn Bee brand is Hobby Lobby, but it's weird that there are, oh, thunder. It's weird that there are yarns in the Yarn Bee line that should definitely be under I Love This Yarn, because they're so incredibly nice. But anyway. So the other yarn I got is, I went into Michael's, and they actually did fill up a little bit more of the variegated Big Twist. And so they got 2 more colorways in. This is the Big Twist Value in the color Sunrise Ombre. This is gorgeous. Really vibrant orange and yellow. Really nice. I'm glad that they filled up that end cap with this, the variegated skin. Even though I'm still upset about the fact that they got rid of the Big Twist Twinkle. This storm, but at least they're filling it up with really gorgeous colorways like this, and so I got one of those, and then I got this blue shade, which is the Big Twist Value in the color Blue Ombre. So it has like white and then all these different shades of blue, like light blue and dark blue. This is really nice too. And the yarn, like all the yarn in the store this day when I went in was buy one get one 50% off. So I did get one of these regular price and the other 50% off. So the total was $7.15, which is a lot. Like, to think of like what I spend on the clearance yarn and stuff, you know, $1.24 skeins, all that kind of stuff. It is a lot, but I do love that these are in my Michaels, and they're actually putting new yarns in my store, even though that it's that at the expense of like some really gorgeous yarns that they should have kept too. At least they're putting new yarns in, and they're really gorgeous like this, and they're variegated and stuff. And so whenever they get some in, I want to get at least one to support them for even having new yarn in their store. Even though I am cheap, and I'm thinking like, you know, $7 is a lot for yarn, for 2 skeins of yarn, but it's worth it, because I feel like it's not just, you know, getting the yarn, it's also supporting Michaels and stuff, and encouraging the company to actually invest in my store and bring new yarns to the store. Just don't take the other ones out. But anyway, that's the yarn from Michaels. And then the rest of the stuff is like some variegated stuff. I went into Goodwill, and they had this, I like to look over there where the purses are, because, you know, I do have a couple purses. I mean, I have like a crossbody bag, but I do have some actual purses. Like, I have some Wizard of Oz purses and like a lot of Lucy purses. It's like literal purses, not like crossbody bags, like a freaking purse. So I do like to look at the purses, and over there they have this little rack there where they have like some of the hats, and they have ties and belts and like all that kind of stuff. And in the little shelf there where the hats were, they had this hat, and or what this is, I looked it up because I didn't really know like what you call this, and what it is a scrub cap. Of course, I don't need a scrub cap or anything, but the only reason I got it is because it has cats on it and little balls of yarn. Like they're playing with, you know, the string that's, you know, right there, and then it turns out that the string is a ball of yarn. I mean, this is really cool. I mean, I even washed this because I wanted to put it on for this video. I probably look like an idiot with this on, but I don't care. I love this. I don't know if I'll ever wear this out, but I just wanted to get it for the novelty of it having yarn on it and stuff. But I do love this so much. Like I said, I'm a sucker for this kind of stuff. If I see yarn on anything, I'm going to get it. Doesn't matter what it is, but I love that. It is really cool. And then I looked in the movies, and they had Gorillas in the Mist with Sigourney Weaver. I've never seen that, but I do love her, so this might be a really good movie. I don't know. So that was in there. Their movies are $1.99. And then they had Face Off. I've seen Face Off. I actually had this on DVD. It's a really good movie. But this is a video CD. Like, I don't know. I got it just for the novelty of it being like a unique kind of physical media, because I don't have any video CDs. I don't know. The quality may be bad, or it may be like one of those, like, you know, really outdated media formats or whatever. But I just got it for the novelty of it, because I've never gotten a video CD before. So I thought that was kind of cool. And like the movie is on 2 discs. So obviously, it doesn't have enough space on there for the entire movie on 1 disc, but so it may be like a little pixelated or really old, or I don't know, but I just thought that was kind of cool, because I do love this movie. It's really good. So they had those, and then I went over looking at the games, and they had a Wonka golden ticket game. This is really cool. I don't know how to play this game. I'm gonna look into it, but the really cool thing about this game is like the game pieces in here. They look like the bars of chocolate. I mean, they literally look like the Wonka bars, and then you slide the chocolate out, and it's like the Wonka bar, like the candy bar. And then it has a little pack of the golden tickets, and you put them in there. And I don't know how the game works or whatever, but it's going to be fun to, like, you know, put little golden tickets in here. And if the game is like, because some of those kids games are a little ridiculous and kind of complicated and stuff. I don't know how it works, but it's going to be fun to have like these game pieces, and if the game is like, you know, geared towards like a family, or like all these overcomplicated rules, like come up with my own game, because it's going to be really cool to, like, you know, play this and you know, to try to find the golden ticket. But I just thought that was a really cool game, just the game pieces, how much it looks like the golden ticket and the Wonka bars and stuff. And there's like a whole bunch of the candy bars, so you can you know, I guess you collect them or whatever, and then whoever gets the golden ticket wins, or I have no idea, but it's a really cool game that I got, because I do love Willy Wonka and the Chocolate Factory. It's a really good movie from my childhood that I watched all the time. 2? What do you mean you only opened 2? I can't figure out just 2. And then they had this mug, which looks like the golden ticket. This is really cool. Oh, I didn't even say the price of any of this stuff. It doesn't really matter. Sometimes I take the price off and I forget to write down how much it was. But the mug was $2.99. So it has you know, Wonka golden ticket on it, and so it's a really nice mug. And like, I don't have a Willy Wonka and the Chocolate Factory mug. I do have a lot of mugs that pertain to all of the things that I'm a fan of, or whatever. All my, you know, fandom related mugs. You have like Friends and Lucy and all kinds of Harry Potter. I have all kinds of, like, you know, mugs and cups and things like that. So I do have a collection of this kind of stuff. So it's really cool that I have a Willy Wonka mug now. But you know, that was there at Goodwill. And then oh, they also had this thing. I don't know why I brought this in here. It's just like this rack thing. They had this rack thing, like, who cares? It looks like a spice rack or something that you would go underneath the, because I have those cabinets in my kitchen or whatever that they have the space underneath it, so I could put that in there. And this is only like $2 or something. Yeah, $2. And so I thought I could put it underneath there, and then it could, like, roll out, because, like, I have one of those things that my coffee pot is sitting on, and, like, it seems ridiculous to, like, spend like, I can't remember how much it was. It was less than $10, but I got it on Amazon. It's just like this black thing. It just looks like a piece of black plastic, and whatever you sit on it, you can just, like, pull it, and then it'll slide. It was worth every penny, because I use it all the time. I use it to, I have my coffee pot on it, and then when I need to fill up the coffee pot, and my coffee pot is underneath my cabinet, and so I could just, like, you know, pull it out really easily, instead of just, like, lifting it and, like, putting it on the front of the thing to open it and put the coffee in and pour the water and all that kind of stuff. I just, like, you know, use the little thing and slide it out. It was worth every penny for that ridiculous, like, plastic tray thing. So I'm definitely going to use this. It's going to go underneath my cabinets, if I can make room in there, because you'll find out in the future. There's a whole family of gnomes and bunnies and all kinds of things there. Like I said, there's a lot of magic in this house. And also the ugly dolls. I mean, the ugly, adorable dolls. Sorry. You know those dolls. They're in there too on the counter. But it's gonna go underneath one of my sorry, I hope you can't hear that that thunder or whatever. But it's going to go in there in my kitchen or whatever. And then the only other things were, I went to Walmart to get something else, and they had this in the DVDs. I didn't even know this was coming out or whatever. This is the Lucille Ball specials. Of course I got this. I think this was like $20. I didn't care. 5-disc set, 11 hours of, like, these Lucy specials, like Lucille Ball specials. I cannot believe that they had this. And it has all kinds of her specials or whatever. And so I went ahead and got that to add to my Lucy collection. I do have I Love Lucy, of course, and then I did find the Lucy show at a pawn shop one time. I've never actually watched it on that. I watched a couple of them, and then I found a season of like. It was like one of her other shows, like Life with Lucy, or like one of those shows. And I do have a set with a couple of her movies, the ones that she did with Desi. She had a huge film career before that, and I think I have a couple of her movies, but not all of them, because she had a huge film career. And then I do have that movie Stone Pillow with her in it. It's a really good movie. She plays this homeless woman. I love that movie. I know a lot of people panned it, and it was not a lot of people like that movie. I think it was... But I thought it was really good, and she was really good in that movie, and I love that. And then I do have like a little physical media collection there with my Lucy stuff, and this is going to go with that, and this has all these specials on it. So that was that was totally unexpected. I didn't realize this was coming out. And see, if TV shows on DVD.com still existed, I mean the website, I know they have like a Substack or whatever now, but like the website I used to visit all the time, I feel like this would have been something that I wouldn't have missed the news of, because I used to go to TV shows on DVD.com all the time and keep track of all their TV related releases and stuff, and I feel like I would have known that this was coming out, but luckily it was like a surprise, because like I was just kind of looking through there, you know, seeing if they had anything, because they've kind of scaled down their physical media over the years, but this was, I was like, oh my god, that's Lucy, and then I was like picked it up, I thought, what is this? And so I just had to get it, because I just love Lucy. And then the other thing, which is like a thriller movie, so it's kind of fitting that there's, you know, thunder out there. No, but anyway, so it's this movie, What Keeps You Alive, and I said it in the last video I filmed when I was sorting my yarn, and but I don't know if I posted it or not, or if I'm going to put the clips in here or not. But I was thinking about you know, this realization that you know I want to start to make time for my other interests and stuff, and I want the yarn hunt or whatever to start to slow down or whatever. I want to find the yarn and buy the yarn and all that kind of stuff, but I also want to intentionally make time for my other interests and stuff. So I was thinking about like movies and stuff, because like I have a huge physical media collection and stuff, and I like, it seems like ever since I started this YouTube channel, this second time at least, and it started to, you know, take off and become successful for me, I've just been so focused on all of the yarn and the crochet and the videos and editing the videos and interacting with you in the comments, which has been incredibly fun, and I'm not saying that I regret, you know, spending that time doing that, but I wish I had more of my time to do other things, because I've been so focused on it, for good reasons and stuff, but I've been so focused on it, and the hunt for the yarn too, and because like, you know, who could pass up all these, you know, clearance prices, and also knowing that like I felt like there had to be an endpoint eventually, so I kept, you know, grabbing it up, thinking there's going to be an endpoint, but you know, when I realized it doesn't seem like there's going to be one, then I feel like I felt like I need to, you know, come up with an endpoint in my head so that, you know, I can enjoy all of the other things I used to enjoy. And so, but I have all these DVDs and Blu-rays, and I used to watch, you know, TV shows and movies all the time, but I'm so focused on all this yarn and crochet stuff, which has been fun, but I'm so focused, and I'm kind of like, I'll get to that later, or I'll watch that movie some other time, because I need to edit a video. I'll organize my DVDs or whatever if I have time after I get back from going to Hobby Lobby, because it is the shipment day. I'm going to have to go in there like 3 times, because they may have a cart of yarn. Like, you know, that kind of thing, I keep like pushing things off to the side, but I thought like, if I need to start to make time for my other interests, then what I need to do is like, you know, sit down and like watch a movie. And I was thinking about like what movie, of course I have plenty of movies, and movies that I've bought, you know, in various places and stuff that I need to watch, but I started to think about this movie called What Keeps You Alive. It's a really good movie. It's like this thriller. It's about this lesbian couple, and there's a, I don't want to give away it's not really a twist. You can kind of see it coming, but it's a really good movie. And if you watch it, it's like a thriller movie, almost like a horror movie in a way, but it's more of like a thriller. And it has Brittany Allen in it, and she's in that movie. It Stains the Sands Red. It's like this really unique zombie movie, and that's where I saw her first. And then when I saw her name pop up in this movie one time, when I was watching, you know, like HBO or Showtime or whatever it was, I saw her name pop up in the description of the movie. I thought, that's that woman from that zombie movie that I loved. And so then I watched the movie. I was blown away how good this movie was. And so I was thinking about that movie, and I've had the Blu-ray in my Amazon shopping cart for a long time, because I thought like, yeah, I want to get the Blu-ray or whatever, but then I was thinking, well, there's so much other stuff to spend the money on, and I'm going to be going over to Hobby Lobby, and they're going to be having their clearance in here in a couple months, and I can always get that DVD sometime, or that Blu-ray sometime, or whatever. I keep doing, see, I even keep doing that too. Like I've had this in my shopping cart for months or whatever, like wanting to get this movie, even though I've seen it, but I want to get the Blu-ray so I could watch it again. and add it to my collection because it's such a good movie. And she does some of the music in this movie too. It's a really good movie. But when I was thinking about, I need to start to make time for my other interests, I felt like what I need to do, instead of like, sort of saving that, $15 or whatever in my head for yarn, like I normally would, I'm going to go ahead and buy this. Like, I'm going to buy the movie, and then it finally came, and I sat down and watched it, and I was thinking, I really enjoyed watching this movie again, even though I already seen it. But it's this movie, What Keeps You Alive. It's a really good thriller movie. And it felt really good to, like, have all these realizations in my head about, like, prioritizing my other interests and stuff, in the benefit of, my life, and making my creative life more full of my other interests and, like, all the other things I want to do. And so, because, like, physical media is a huge, in TV and movies, how many references have I made in my videos and stuff. And so I felt really good that I, went ahead and bought this for myself, and I sat down and watched it and had a good time or whatever. And the reason why when I was sorting my yarn, it took like 2 days to do it is because, like, I started the process or whatever, and then I did go out and get some more yarn at Hobby Lobby, all that kind of stuff. But I intentionally waited a couple days because I thought, like, I need to, instead of like going right back to the yarn, when I knew that the video wouldn't be out for weeks, if not, a couple months, I thought, like, what I need to do is, like, instead of like going right back to the yarn and sorting, I have plenty of time to do that. I need to, like, think of something else. And like, I wanted to watch a movie because I rarely watch movies anymore. And so I went ahead and bought this, and it came, and I had a really good time watching the movie. And even though it had nothing to do with yarn or whatever, and I still enjoyed, prioritizing my time and for other things. And I even, like, put in my Super Mario All-Stars that I showed in one of my previous hauls that I bought at a pawn shop, and I put that in my Retron. It's like a Super Nintendo kind of thing, but it's like a Retron, like a knockoff thing that can play the original games. And I put that in, and I was, like, playing my game, and it's just like a really fun time. And so, like, that's what I need more of. Like, I'll still have the yarn and the crochet and buying the yarn and crocheting with it, and showing you all the ridiculous things I make, and all my ridiculous hauls and stuff. But, like, I need to do that more too. I need to, like, prioritize my other interests and stuff, and so that I can have as much fun as I have, getting all the yarn and crocheting with it and stuff, and showing you all and all that. But have as much fun doing all of my other things as I do getting the yarn and having my life be, obsessively filled with, yarn and crochet and stuff. But anyway, so that's going to be the end of this video. But anyway, I hope you enjoyed this video. Like and subscribe, comment down below, and I'll see you in the next one.